Okay, now that we've talked about absolute values, we want to take a look at the term opposite and some examples. Two numbers are perceived to be opposite if they have the same absolute value but different signs. Okay, so opposites are the same distance from zero on a number line but on opposite sides. And please also make a side note that the opposite of zero is always zero. Okay, so here we've constructed a number line. On the right side is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We know it's our positive numbers. On the left side of zero, we have -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, and -6. And we know these as our negative numbers. Now, talking about opposite, if we look at the first line that I've drawn up here, we see if we look at 2, it is exactly 2 units from 0. 1, 2. If we looked at a -2, it is exactly 2 units from 0, which is 1, 2. So we can say in either case that the absolute value of 2 is 2 and the absolute value of a -2 is 2 because they're both 2 units from 0. But if you notice, as the direction said, one is to the left of 0, one is to the right of 0, and they have 2 different signs. One's negative and one's positive. So saying that 2 and -2 are opposites. Okay, let's take a look at one more. We have 5, positive 5, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Took me 5 units to get back to 0. So 5 is 5 units from 0, and a -5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It took me 5 units to get to a -5. So that as well is 5 units from 0. So breaking this down, we can say that the absolute value of a positive 5 is 5, and the absolute value of a -5 is 5, and they are opposites of each other. Okay, so let's take a look at some examples. What if I was told to write the opposite of 5? So I know that since 5 is 5 units from 0, a -5 is also 5 units from 0. So the opposite of 5 will be a -5. Okay, what about 12? I know that -12 actually is 12 units from 0. So if a -12 is 12 units from 0, the opposite of a -12 will be a positive 12 on the right side of 0. So because they're both 12 units from 0, the opposite of a -12 will be 12, and conversely, the opposite of 12 would be a -12. Now, if we look at C, C is a little challenging because it's sort of tricky, but we can easily work through it. It says, what is the absolute value, or should I say, what is the opposite of the absolute value of a -9? They're talking about the opposite of an absolute value. Well, the first thing we have to do, the very first thing we have to do is find the absolute value of a -9. So remember what we said in the previous video, that there's our two parallel lines running horizontal. So if we wanted to find this, we would determine, let's take them out, take it out of the parallel lines and make the sign positive. So the absolute value of a -9 is 9, but they're telling us write the opposite of that. So what is the opposite? What's the opposite of 9? Well, the opposite of 9 is a -9. So again, if you just follow the process, These problems will not be that tough. You just really need to follow a step, follow a format, and you will be fine.